Well, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It's a brand new week, and I am thrilled to talk with you about Dynasty football. All right, and talking about the state of Dynasty. We are going to have a 2026 Dynasty startup mock draft. In fact, why don't we go ahead and as we're about to jump into the mock draft, and I have a big announcement for you guys here in 1 second. Why don't we go ahead and start trying to fill that mock draft up so we're ready to go after this announcement to start the stream. If you guys want to join that mock draft here, we'll do a startup today. I'm excited to talk about the state of Dynasty. If you want to join, you can go to our Discord. And then in our Discord, there is a tab under the land community called mock drafts. I'm going to paste that there right now. It is first come, first serve. And ultimately, I want as many of you guys to get into these mock drafts as we possibly can. And if you want to jump into a mock draft, not only with me, but any community, if you want to jump in with other guys, there's constantly people sending mock draft links here. Then you can create a free account. Just create a free account using the promo code LAND at sign up and you'll be good to go. But we're going to go ahead and obviously get that full. And I'm also going to paste that link here in the chat for you guys as well. It is first come, first serve. We're going to talk Dynasty football, okay? We're going to do all of the fun things that we normally do. And why don't we go ahead and just start off the stream by announcing that we will do a giveaway today. So if you guys want to enter to win a 2025 live team playbook, all you have to do is simply type 40Feb, all right? No spaces. 40Feb, no spaces, and like the stream, and you'll be entered into today's giveaway. We'll do that at the very end. Just want to make sure I'm covering all my bases. Again, if you want to jump into the mock draft, link is in the chat. But guys, I appreciate you so much being here with me. Let me know who I'm in the chat with. What's up, Jordan in the building? We got Patrick here. We've got P. Morley in the building. Jonah is here. Joel is in the building. Another Jonah. We got two Jonahs, and we're going to put them in a ring and let them fight each other. We've got Connor in the building. What's up, Connor? Welcome in. We got Crush. We got Paul. Dynasty is my life here. Sparrow is in the building. What's up, guys? I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. So, look, I want to talk to you guys about something I've been thinking about doing for a very long time. All right, there is an initiative that I've been wanting to create for Dynasty Land, for land football for quite some time. And I am today kind of releasing that and letting you guys be a part of it. This community, and it's going to sound silly. I mean, it's a YouTube channel about Dynasty football. We've got the fantasy football channel. I mean, honestly, I talk to some of you guys more than my family at times. I know your usernames. I know your chats. I know your support on the Flock site. But this community has undoubtedly completely changed my life. And if you can just give me 3 minutes here, 3 to 5 minutes, I want to tell you guys about an initiative I'm starting that I'm very passionate about. And because this community has really changed my life, I want to find a way for us to give back together. So this might get a little hot, not hot, a little bit heavy here for some people, but I think it's important that we discuss what's going on in the world. If you are not aware, and a lot of people won't be aware, I know fantasy football is about disconnecting from the world, but I want to do something bigger with this platform than just talk about fantasy football. We're going to do that. Y'all know that, but I want it to go beyond that. Okay. If you don't know, today, there are more people enslaved than at any other time in human history. Okay. An estimated 49.6 million people are currently enslaved around the world. 1 in 4 are actually children. 1 in 4 of those victims are children, 54% women and girls, 46% men and boys. It's happening in every single country, and it is an industry that currently generates about $236 billion per year. Again, more people enslaved today than at any other time in human history. It's shocking, but it's true. So this is something I've been passionate about for a long time. And I want to find a way, even if it's small, what can our community do to give back? So today I'm officially announcing an initiative that I'm starting for the month of February, and I would love for you to be a part of it. We're calling it 40 in a week Feb. And it's very simple. Okay, the way that this works is very simple. It'll be fun for you guys. We'll be able to do something together to give back. Let me explain it. Our goal is very simple. Can we get 40 annual Mother Flocker memberships in a single week with the promo code LAND? Can we get 40 annual Mother Flocker memberships in any single week, any week of February with the promo code LAND? Each week it's going to reset. Each week is a new chance to hit that goal. Can we get 40 in any single week? If we do, on the right side of your screen, you're going to see this. Number one, just as a joke, so, something funny to give back to you guys, okay? I'm going to do a hair reveal for the first time in 2 years. I know this has been, a big joke on both the Flock League and my content. People saying, hey, what's under the hat? People have talked about there's an antenna under there. They think I'm a robot. Well, just as a fun little give back, I will show you what's underneath the hat for the first time in 2 years. Secondly, no matter what, even if we hit this goal or we don't, I am going to be committing 10% of every Flock Fantasy membership with code LAND, and I'm donating it to an organization called A21 to help fight human trafficking. And I'll tell you guys about A21 here in a second. Ultimately, regardless if we hit it or if we don't, like humanity, I want humanity to be in a better place because of our community, right? So again, the goal is simple. Can 40 people sign up with the promo code LAND to be an annual Mother Flocker member? If we hit 40 in any week, I'll do the hair reveal. But more importantly, A21 focuses on preventing trafficking, and this is who we're going to be donating our 10% to. A21, it has been an organization that's been around since 2008. I've been aware of them myself for about the last decade and a half. I've been aware of them. I've donated to them in the past. And A21 focuses, again, on preventing trafficking, rescuing victims who have been trafficked, providing long-term aftercare, and stopping exploitation at its roots, They have developed the system over, since the year 2008, where they've really been able to make an actual difference through different areas like reach, and you can read all about this at a21.org if you want, through hotlines, child advocacy centers, training centers, legal assistance for people. They also have restoration services like aftercare services and freedom centers. And ultimately, what they've been able to do since 2008 is set up 19 locations around the world in 14 different countries to help combat human trafficking. So again, the idea is very simple. I would love for you guys to be a part of it. If you'd like to be a part of it, I would be more than grateful for you too. All you have to do to be a part of it, again, is become an annual Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. Anytime in February when you support the show and you become an annual Mother Flocker member, you are also a part of a cause it's something bigger than Dynasty football, right? As a community, I want to do something that truly matters. So for us, if you're going to be a part of it, February is bigger than football. And, personally, it's something that I've been passionate about for a very long time. I can give you an update today. Again, right now, today, for 40 in a week Feb, we're currently at 5. Okay, we're currently at 5 annual Mother Flocker memberships. And obviously, we have an entire week to hit that. But I'm going to keep you guys updated as we go. You're going to know the exact number that we end up donating at the end of the month. You'll know exactly, if you become an annual Mother Flocker member, you know exactly what we've done collectively to make this happen. So I would be more than happy to answer any questions. But again, 40 in a week Feb is happening. It's happening right now. And I would love for you guys to be a part of it. Please let me know if you guys have any questions whatsoever. And of course, not to mention, you're going to get the annual Mother Flocker membership with the code LAND, which is better than it's ever been. All right. Obviously, you're going to get the playbook, which everyone raves about, right? Customized review of your Dynasty team. You get the war room. You get the 6 vouchers for the trade hotline. You get the rookie report, the fast draft credit. And then you are contributing to something that is bigger than yourself. So that is the ultimate goal. I would love for you guys to be a part of it. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section, because it's something that I would like to do more often. I would love to, I've been hesitant in the past, honestly, to use a platform for something like this because I know it's such a break from the reality of the world. But I also think that as our community grows, I have a responsibility to do something better than just make money talking about football. And that's where I am. And I'd love for you guys to be a part of it. I appreciate y'all being here. What's up, Max? Yes, I am in the McLaren hat. Let's make it happen, Jonah. What's up, Mike? Welcome in. What's up, Spides? Welcome in. What's up, Dubs? Yes, we still love Badaki. Obviously, he is. We'll get an update from him here soon. What's up, Albert? Welcome in. Appreciate y'all being here with me. Okay, like I said, if you have any questions at all about the initiative, feel free to DM me. I'd be more than happy to point you guys, to why we're partnering with A21. But if you want to learn more, you can go a21.org. Okay, let's jump into a Dynasty startup mock draft. You guys are in here. We're completely full. We're going, I think, 12 rounds. We'll make it a 0.5 tight end premium. And let's talk some ball here. Let's talk some ball. Okay. Evie says, don't worry, I'm here. Yeah, let me know who I'm hanging out with here today, by the way. What's up, Zom? Welcome in. Appreciate you being here. As Drake May comes off the board first, no surprise there. And yes, you can draft rookie picks, by the way. So if you want to draft rookie picks, obviously you're able to. In fact, on the Flock site, they let you draft the pick itself, which is kind of how you would operate in a real startup draft, right? You'd be drafting the individual pick rather than any players right now. And then typically if you're doing a startup today, then your rookie mock draft or your rookie draft would be after the NFL draft. You kind of split it into two. All right, Drake May, Josh Allen come off the board. We've talked about this all offseason. I don't really mind if you have a preference either way between those two names. You can make the argument about flexibility with Drake May. You can make the argument about consistency with Josh Allen. You could sway me either way with those two. Jamar Chase at the 103 there. Is Jamar Chase still your wide receiver one? Let me know. Is Jamar Chase still your wide receiver one? I want to hear from you guys. And Jay Casanova. Zach, thanks for throwing me under the bus in your last video drafting Michael Wilson. Look. I was shocked that you took Wilson in round 6. And I just thought, you know what? I gotta make a video about this. I mean, to be fair, you shocked me, Casanova. You're a very, very smart player. But Michael Wilson over the 106? I mean, I had to say something about it. I had to do something about it. After Jamar Chase comes off the board, we have JSN, Puka Nacua, Bijan Robinson, all coming off the board. A lot of different ways you can go here now. I'll probably just grab Jahmyr Gibbs here. I've been not starting with a quarterback lately in these startups. I probably should have drafted Jaden Daniels. That feels wrong. And every time I start my, this startup without a quarterback, it just feels better. I feel, better about the result I end up getting. All right, who's your wide receiver one? Got some conversations in the chat here. Mike says JSN is his wide receiver one. I think Kind still would have Jamar Chase. Connor says Chase has to be. Jonah says JSN. Jonah says Jonah number 2 or Jonah number 1 here. Says I feel like JSN and Puka definitely are like 1B, 1C. Okay, sure. I hear you. Scribble says I'm a tier guy. JSN, Chase, Puka. Who cares? Yeah, I agree. Between those three, I'm not gonna fight. Whatever direction you're trying to go there, I'm fine with. Okay, so after Jaden Daniels, we get Lamar Jackson, then Malik Neighbors, Amon-Ra St. Brown, C.D. Lamb, Mr. Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Ashton Genty, Joe Burrow coming off the board. So 3 teams at the edge there deciding to completely punt on quarterback. I'm not saying it's crazy. I'm making observations here. Just making observations. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Sheesh. Well, I think it's easier to sell the 101 than Patrick Mahomes right now. As crazy as that sounds, I think the 101 is a more attractive asset. It feels like the most flexible asset from now until let's say May. So I will grab the 101 here. And we're potentially starting double RB, which feels so wrong. Christian says Clint leaving could question JSN, right? Okay, so are you guys worried about Clint Kubiak being gone? I mean, obviously, anytime you have a receiver who puts up a year like JSN did, naturally there's going to be some concern there. I think we've seen enough from Darnold and JSN to be confident. Right now, that's where I would have them ranked. JSN number 1 for me. Then Chase Puka, but I don't really mind if you're going to lean one direction over the other. Right after the 101, Amarion Hampton at the 207, ahead of Devon Achane. That's a little surprising. I did not expect that. Paul says he's in his first Superflex startup draft tomorrow, so this is great practice. Hey, good luck, man. You're going to love it. That's fair, Joel. Fair assessment there. Brizzleton says, I don't think a major fall-off will happen, but May being this high seems ridiculous. Connor says, fading quarterback in round 1 is meta right now. It actually feels like it is genuinely meta. Like, I feel like everybody is fading quarterbacks in round 1 now. It's not like it used to be, is it? It's definitely not like it used to be. It used to be very, very running back, or very heavy on quarterbacks to start, and that's just not the case anymore, unfortunately. Joel says double elite running back is so right if you want to contend straight away. Let's see. What's up, Carl? London worries me with injury prone quarterback and no vet quarterback now. Is that crazy? I think they're going to bring in another quarterback. I don't imagine it's going to be just Michael Penix. There will be some veteran there, whether it's a Joe Flacco or I don't know who that's going to end up ultimately being, but I don't think they're going to have just Michael Penix there. I think they know about his injury history. I'm fine to bet on a Drake London long-term. At the 202, it's a tough ask just because you're taking him ahead of the Genties, the Calebs, Burrows, those elite tight ends. I think at the 202, it is a little bit of a tough bet. But, I mean, you look at Drake London before his injury. I know we've talked about this before, but I believe he got injured in week 11. And if you look at his span, compared to all the other elite number 1 receivers in the league, it's not as if he was inferior, right? I mean, you compare him to the JSNs, the Pukas in that first 11-week span, averaging almost 20 points per game, just underneath. But targets per game were there. The target share was up there at a 33%. JSN at almost a 39% target share is insane. But, I mean, he was constantly the focal point of that entire offense. So, we do get McMillan here at the 211. Then Chris Olave. Does that feel too high to anyone else? Am I overthinking this? Does the 211 feel too high for T-Mac? I don't know. Am I overthinking it? Maybe. Maybe I am overthinking it. That feels a little bit rich. Feels a little bit rich. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. Jonathan says, I took London because he's the cheapest he's ever going to be right now. Okay, wow. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, look, I want you to call your shots. I'm not here to be the contrarian, but you don't think he'll ever be cheaper than the 202? That's a bold claim, I'd say. I definitely think that they have to bring competition into that wide receiver room. Who knows if Kyle Pitts leaves or not, but whether it's the second, third round of the NFL draft, whether it's free agency, they're going to bring in someone. They need someone. I would argue they absolutely need someone to kind of step in there. Patrick Mahomes in round 3. It feels wrong, guys. It feels wrong. What a start from Sparrow. What an absolute banger here. Dart at the 301 also feels kind of wild to me. Both these starts at the 101 and the 102 seem ridiculous. I don't know how I feel about McMillan that early, but to get May, Dart, and Olave as a start, I kind of like it. Same with Allen Hurts. I mean, a year ago, Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts might have been separated by what? 3 or 4 picks in the first round? So, I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy. Evie says, T-Mac in the second is a spicy nugget for me. Not a full-on chicken breast, but a nugget at the very least. Spide says, T-Mac is tricky because typically wide receiver 9, but feels like a big fall from wide receiver 8. Right. Yeah, I can see that. All right, your boy's on the clock here. Not really obsessed with any of the options, if I'm fully transparent with you. I think I'm just going to grab my first quarterback here. We will grab Brock Purdy next as our first quarterback here at the 307, who I feel like Brock Purdy's been underrated for a while, but coming off a 22 point per game year, he looked incredible. And, you know, had a lot of injuries in that wide receiver room to deal with. I mean, had no Ayuk for the entire year as well. I mean, I don't know, man. Just saying, Brock Purdy, a little bit underrated right now, maybe. Is it just me? Could be. Appreciate y'all being here with me. If you don't know, we are doing a giveaway today. All you have to do to enter is simply like the stream and type 40Feb in the chat. If you didn't hear earlier, we are launching an initiative this month, the month of February, collectively trying to do something to give back. You can check out the beginning of the stream if you want to be a part of it. But we are doing a giveaway today. All you have to do to enter is simply like the stream and type 40Feb to win a team playbook today. After I took Purdy at the 307, we do get Bo Nix at the 308, Pickens at the 309, and Trevor Lawrence at the 310. And I'll be honest with you guys, J-Mo starting with 3 quarterbacks. I don't know. It's might be tough to build out the rest of this roster. I'm really curious to see what that's going to look like. Yeah. Scribble says, I hate non-tier rankings more and more lately. People are way too reactionary in Dynasty as of late. Fighting about who's 1 versus 2 versus 3 versus 4 seems silly, but people love arguing. That's the truth. The truth is people love arguing. That's what we have to agree on. Pickens at the 309 comes off the board. We've got the back end of the board here, still punting quarterback. Still saying, you know what, I'm going to figure it out later on. They both start the same exact direction. 3 receivers, 1 running back. And I'm really curious to see how those 2 teams in particular fill out the rest of their roster. The 104 comes off the board there. You know, maybe that's Mendoza or Tate, Tyson, Lemon. I don't know. Although, you guys are surprising me a little bit with something in particular here, but yeah, quarterback feels too early now. I mean, yeah, I'll take Rashee Rice here. I'll take Rashee Rice in the 4th. That seems like a no-brainer to me. I feel like Rashee Rice is getting a little bit underrated. And I wonder if it's because of the legal issues he's gone through recently, which it seems like that's already been resolved, in case you're curious. But, I mean, 18.7 points per game. He didn't come back after week 16 when Mahomes went down with that injury. But I don't know how we can watch the Chiefs offense last year and come to any conclusion other than Rashee Rice is the engine of this offense moving forward. I don't know. You guys sell me on why that's wrong. Yeah, sure. In the top 10, maybe they take Jeremiah Love, or maybe they take one of these big 3 receivers. I don't know. Sure, that's a possibility. Or they can go defense, you know, and then you've got Rashee Rice here, not even in his prime yet, about to hit 26. Clearly the engine of the offense. Travis Kelce an absolute statue right now. I don't know, man. I don't know. Someone sell me why Rashee Rice in the 4th round makes sense versus like a Tetero McMillan at the 211 or Drake London at the 202. Someone explain to me why he should go that late. I want to hear from you. What's up, Matthew? Welcome in. Hopefully you and your wifey are doing well, man. Good to see you here in the chat. What's up, Kyle? Welcome in, brother. Thanks for being here. Says, awesome to see what you're doing with the channel. Thank you, man. Connor says, plus 200 Rice is cut in the future. Carl says, the felonies are going to bump him down a tier. Right. People are scared of the off-field issues. I mean, imagine if 2 years ago I would have told you after the car incident, hey, man, you're going to miss about 6 games from Rashee Rice, and then he's going to turn into number 1 for Patrick Mahomes. Okay, one thing I wanted to talk about here in this draft is Jonathan Taylor at the 409. Look, I know I brought Jonathan Taylor in today's sell video, but that seems pretty low to me. I'm surprised Breece Hall goes ahead of him. I'm surprised he lasted this long. Transparently, I don't know. I mean, that feels too late. We do also get Mr. Rome Odunze off the board, as well as Bucky, Burden, Scats, and Brian Thomas, who, man, if you know how to project Brian Thomas's career, I'd highly encourage you to go fill out a little scratchy as well. And let's see if you can win the lottery. Because what in the world are you supposed to think about Brian Thomas at this point? Completely impossible to predict. Difficult that Trevor Lawrence, unquestionably, I mean, there's not even a debate here, had his best ever year. You know? I mean, not even close. Best ever year, by far. Where is he here? You know, from an efficiency perspective, the turnovers, fantasy points per game, yards per game, touchdowns per game, 21 fantasy points per game. It's really difficult to understand how was Brian Thomas not crucial to that, right? I mean, Parker Washington looked great. They trade for Jacoby Myers. Travis Hunter goes down with the injury. I think you could easily explain it away by just saying, hey, Brian Thomas was clearly injured, and that was the problem. And maybe that's right. But it's funny because this could so easily be way too high or way too low for him. So easily. Judkins comes off the board there at the 503. Always love adding a Scadaboo or a Judkins to the Dynasty squad. I think they're great players to build around. I feel like if I don't go quarterback, and I could be wrong, but if I don't go quarterback here, I'm all for punting. But I've got one team that has one quarterback. I've got 2 teams that have no quarterbacks. And I do think this is the range for some of these names. So I think I'm going to go against my word here. I just like some of these positional players better. I mean, T. Higgins in round 5 ain't bad, though. T. Higgins, maybe a little J-Mo. All right. I'm going against my word. I'm going to take T. Higgins here at the 507. I just thought, you know, do I really... I don't know. Those quarterbacks are fine. Let's see what happens on the comeback. Shout out to Kim K. Let's see what happens on the comeback. So, through 5 rounds, we are building our roster. Obviously not quarterback-centric in a Superflex league, so we'll see how that pans out. But we're operating right now with a lineup of Purdy, Gibbs, Jeremiah Love, Rice, and Higgins. I like the start personally. We don't get an elite tight end. I would have loved to gotten an elite tight end, but yeah. This is so true, Joel. Joel says the 24 class of wide receivers had a rough sophomore season. That is about the most accurate thing anyone has ever said this offseason. I mean, how much hype and love did we have for the 24 wide receiver class right after their first year? And my gosh, did that hype and excitement evaporate quickly. I'm not going to lie, y'all. Booty Claps King is... His team is clapping cheeks right now. To wait until the end of round 5 and still have Goff and Love as your starting quarterbacks. I mean, I'm not going to lie. We may have just let him get away with it. We may have just let him get away with bloody murder. We get 2 veteran running backs off the board here. Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley. Zay Flowers, nice pick. I was thinking about picking him here at the 606. That becomes Evie's wide receiver 3. Chase Brown is a fantastic pick. I mean, if he actually gets extended. Oh, I hate the quarterbacks now. I should have gone quarterback. I hate the quarterbacks available. Oh, this is disgusting. Oh, wow, this is gross. Wow. Yeah, this is gross. Damn, son. I'm just going to take Sam Darnold here. I mean, there's... The 606 feels too early for Sam Darnold. I think I played myself a little bit. But I'm just looking at Tyler, who has no quarterback yet. I'm looking at Sparrow, who has 1 quarterback. I'm looking at Leaky, who has no quarterbacks. And I'm asking myself, Zach, if Sam Darnold is off the board, and you come back and let's say you've got Kyler Murray available, how are you going to feel? The answer is disgusting. The answer is I would feel absolutely disgusting. Yeah. Someone says Darnold's a value. I'm hoping. I'm hoping so. Tyler says he's treating the 102 as Mendoza. Okay. Whoa. I mean, Tyler, does that mean you're taking Mendoza over Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert? That's bullish, Tyler. I love Mendoza, but that is... I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do that. Over Mahomes and Herbs. I'm not even sure if I'm Mendoza over Purdy or Nix or Lawrence. I don't know. That's a lot of love. I mean, I will say that Clint Kubiak to Las Vegas is about as perfect of a fit as it gets. If you've got Bowers, if you're thinking Mendoza, if you've got Genty, getting Clint Kubiak to Las Vegas is one of the better moves this entire offseason, if I had to say so myself. I don't know. I don't know, Jim. It's a little bullish. Even with that coaching staff, though, I can't imagine Mendoza has like a Jaden Daniels rookie year. I mean, I guess you're banking on what, like CJ Stroud type of production as a rookie. Man, that's a heavy bet to make, to bet that Mendoza is going to be more valuable than Mahomes and Herbert in 1 year from now. Let's see how it pans out, Jim. I don't know. I don't know. All right. We get 3 running backs in a row here from Jonah. He goes Scat, then he goes the veteran Jacobs, RJ Harvey. So he's building up a nice squad he's got there. definitely banking on Burden's breakout in year 2. You know, to have 2 wide receivers through the first 7 rounds. Obviously, you're never going to build the perfect team from a startup, but I'm a Luther Burden guy, so I'm with you, but that's a lot of trust in Luther. Kyron Williams here at the 6'11". This is Lane's RB2. Whoa, I just saw Tyler Shuck win at the 607 too. Look, I mean, I've talked about this before. Tyler Shuck, what was it like? I think it was week 11 onwards? Tyler Shuck was one of the better passers in the entire league. Yeah, I think it was only Drake May who had a higher completion percentage. When you look at Tyler Shuck, what was it? 70.1% completion percentage from week 11 onwards. 18 points per game. I mean, that's a healthy sample size. Not the biggest sample size in the world, but it's healthy. And Tyler Shuck was balling out. But you are banking on no year 2 fall off for Mr. Tyler Shuck there. Harold Fanning coming off the board at the 702. I like that, honestly. That feels like a potential value. Ken Walker in the 7th is robbery, by the way. I probably would have drafted him. I 100% would have drafted him at the 707. I just can't understand how Ken Walker is valued 3 rounds later than Breece Hall. Love Breece Hall. I'm all for buying Breece Hall in free agency. They're both going to have attractive offers. I think Ken Walker is basically cheap Breece Hall this offseason. I'm going to keep buying him every chance I get. I told y'all in these videos before. I just feel like that is way too cheap. Way too cheap there. That's right, Evie. Let's never forget Stroud was a first-round pick after his rookie year. Scribble says, I heard rumors Breece could get the tag. Please, God, no. I'm begging you. Please. Please, no tag. That would be worst case scenario, but also a very realistic possibility if we're being honest. It's a possibility. Devonta Smith's coming off the board there. All right, we're looking at a roster that has 2 running backs. Let's assume the 101 is Jeremiah Love. We've got 2 quarterbacks and 2 receivers. And if I didn't go quarterback at the 608 or 606, I would have been looking at, yeah, Stroud, Young, Kyler. Wouldn't have been that happy with this group. That's for damn sure. Oh my gosh. Let's see what Leaky does here. Y'all, someone explain it to me like I'm 5 years old. Please. Someone explain it to me like I'm 5 years old. How is Tucker Kraft available at the 707? Please. Please, someone explain it to me. What am I not understanding? Is it touchdown regression? Is it the ACL? How in the world are we letting Tucker Kraft fall to the 707? Can I just remind you guys, before his injury, I think that was a week 8. Tucker Kraft was one of the best tight ends in all of fantasy football, y'all. What are we talking about? This is weeks 1 to 8. Tucker Kraft, more points per game than Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. Just on a clear trajectory for an absolute breakout. I mean, look, obviously, Kyler goes down. Trey McBride blows up without Kyler Murray. We know that. But in those first 8 weeks, you can't convince me. I mean, if we did a startup mock draft and the week that we did it was week 7 of the 2025 NFL season, where's Tucker Kraft being drafted? Tucker Kraft is probably drafted in round 4. Be honest. Round 4? Way too late. Way too late, but I'll take advantage of it. We get the 107 off the board there. Then Laporta, Addison, Hunter. Hunter's a fun bet. I mean, you have to acknowledge that you have no idea what the outcome for Travis Hunter is going to be. But it's a fun bet to make, that's for sure. What's up, Rowan? Welcome in. What's up, Ryan? Welcome in. Probably the ACL, Jonah says. That's just silly. I mean, he's already talked about how he expects to be ready to go for camp. You can't let the ACL be the reason we're not in on him. I think at this point on the board, I may be interested in the rookie pick, depending on what happens next. I don't think I'm obsessed with any of these running backs. Yeah, honestly, I might go rookie pick here next. Kyle Pitts isn't a bad value either. Yeah. Man, I don't really like this class, but I don't know. Maybe quarterback makes sense here. Get a third on the roster. Take me off the roster. Devontae's not a bad bet if I was going all in right now. I think Bryce Young, we're going to get our third quarterback here. We'll add Brycey at the 806, who, finished the season strong. Looked good. Got to give him his flowers. He deserves them flowers. Kyler to the Jets, someone said. What do we think? People are going to hate this, but what do I think? I think maybe Kyler to Arizona. Look, the idea of them moving on makes sense until you ask the question, well, who do they move on to? Kyler, look, the Jets are an easy fit because it feels like they're always a bridge quarterback. Miami could make sense. Minnesota, probably. If you're Kyler Murray, is there another place you'd rather go outside of Minnesota? Minnesota, if he does have to leave, would probably be his preferred destination. Pittsburgh may be looking for a quarterback. Cleveland may be looking for a quarterback. Atlanta? Kyler to Atlanta could... don't rule it out. But, I mean, they've got him under control for, another year. I don't know. It feels like Kyler to Arizona might end up being what we actually get. Yeah. And there's Michael Wilson off the board at the 808. 808 and heartbreaks. Where did Marvin go? Marvin goes at the 506. Look, this is why I say Michael Wilson's probably still a sell for me. If you can sell him for, the 107 to the 108, 9, seems like a no-brainer to me. I don't know. I think everything was perfect for Michael Wilson this last year. I really loved him as a player coming out of Stanford. I remember being high on him. But, the team constantly being down in games. I mean, look at this stretch. 18, 15, 16, 11. It's just unrealistic to have expectations that week 11 onwards is going to be some expectation for him moving forward. I just find that difficult. And there's a reason, even the JSNs and the Pukas and the Chases aren't getting that many targets per game. Negative game scripts definitely helped. Lack of competition, in his own wide receiver room definitely helped. I don't know. I just feel like it's a little too early for me. What's up, Liam? I traded CD for Genty and Marvin Harrison last year. How are we feeling about that? I think if you were to try to trade CD today, I don't think you'd get a bigger return than Genty and Marvin Harrison. I mean, in this startup alone, CD goes at the 112, Genty at the 203, and then Marv in the 5th round. I don't think you're going to get a bigger return than that, my friend. I like the Adams pick. Honestly, I was pretty heavily considering Devontae Adams if he came back around. My team, I certainly like my team, but if there's any weakness, it's definitely receiver depth. Definitely receiver depth. I don't understand the case for J.J. McCarthy over a Daniel Jones, though. I'll be honest with you. I'd have a hard time getting on board that gravy train. Still got the 112 available. One last rookie pick available. Again, appreciate y'all being here with me. If you aren't aware, we are doing a giveaway today. We're giving away one of our live team playbooks. All you have to do is simply like the stream. And then, secondly, you type 40 Feb, one word, no spaces, and you'll be entered into today's giveaway. If you weren't with us earlier, go back to the beginning of the stream. We mentioned this initiative we're doing for the month of February, 40 in a week Feb. And essentially, we're trying to give back. If we can get 40 annual Mother Flocker subscribers in a single week, I'm going to do a hair reveal. And regardless, we're going to donate 10% of every membership on the Flock site to A21. It's an organization that helps fight human sex trafficking, or human trafficking in general, excuse me. But you can check that out at the beginning of the stream if you want to hear more information there. So it's a weird start to round 9 because you've got 2 rookie picks, 3 quarterbacks. I think Daniel Jones is a huge value on the board there. I mean, there's like almost zero chance Daniel Jones isn't signed to a long-term contract in Indianapolis. I can't see a world where that happens, where he's not signed. So to get him at the 906, it just seems too late to me. I'm going to add a veteran here in Terry McLaurin at the 907, and I'm really starting to like how this team is starting to build itself out. We've got a starting lineup right now of Purdy, Darnold, Gibbs, Jeremiah Love, Rice, Higgins, Tucker Kraft, Terry McLaurin. I don't mind it. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. That'll do just fine. After I take Terry McLaurin, we get Jaden Higgins off the board, Mr. DeAndre Swift, and Jacoby Myers. Mr. Jacoby Myers. Yeah, I mean, the board is not that exciting right now, is it? Wow. Round 9 is where really where things start to fall off. What's up, Ryan says, did you ever give your thoughts on Rice post incident / accusations? Yeah, I mean, look, everything that I've read, first off, terrible. Let's just be very clear. If the reports are true, absolutely awful. Secondly, I've read that it's already been dealt with out of court. So I don't imagine it becomes something. Now, I could be wrong, but that's where I would currently stand on it. I don't imagine it ends up turning into anything for him for fantasy football purposes. Let's jump into a couple trade questions we got here on the site. I'm going to do, obviously, a team review here for M20 after the startup draft, but we got a couple trade questions that are flowing in. So let me answer this. Would you guys rather have Parker Washington or Kyle Monangai long-term? Parker Washington or Kyle Monangai? That's honestly quite close. I think I might slightly prefer Kyle Monangai here, but that's just because there's not as many running backs that you can really feel good about building around long-term. Not that Monangai is some guarantee, but I find it harder to find, these sleeper running backs like Monangai on my roster than the wide receiver 4s and 5s. I'd say this is pretty relatively even, and it depends on what you're looking for the most. After Kincaid comes off the board, we've got DJ Moore, Wan'Dale Robinson, and speaking of the devil, there goes Kyle Monangai. Not that he is the devil. That sounds weird. You know, we're going to grab Christian Watson here. I'm not the biggest Christian Watson guy. However, I was really impressed with the way that he finished 2025. I mean, really seemed like the alpha in that offense when they almost never have an alpha. I'm just curious to see what that will look like as we head into 2026. Alec Pierce is probably a better bet to make because he's about to get a bag in free agency. His value's inevitably going to rise. Yeah. After Penix comes off the board, we get Mr. Bashul Tootin at the 10-10. That's a good pick, too. I wonder why are the Jags so publicly, and I don't know. Why are they wanting to move on from Etienne? I don't understand that. I mean, he had such a good year with them. I don't know. I just feel like he was kind of the perfect fit in that offense. I think he fit what Liam Cohen wanted really well. This was from Florida Times, so I'm not sure it really means that much, but this is Roto World. And says the figurative writing was on the wall for Etienne and Lloyd in the last month when the Jaguars extended Jacoby Myers and left tackle Cole Van Lanen to ensure they wouldn't hit the market. O'Haron writes, did the Jaguars choose Myers over Etienne? Ultimately, yes. If Etienne does leave Jacksonville, he believes Tootin will be the number 1 back. Interesting. So it's really more of just a beat writer's opinion than anything, wasn't it? Malik Willis in the 10th. That's fun. Then we get the 202, the 203, and Mr. Brandon Ayuk, who is a really easy, pick to make. Brandon Ayuk is. You're not risking much when you go out and draft the Brandon Ayuk, in my opinion. I like the Trey Benson pick. What a shame, man. What a shame for Trey Benson. I mean, we had such high expectations. Just frustrating, ultimately. Just frustrating the way it kind of panned out for him. Benson off the board. Brenton Strange off the board. Matthew Golden. Woody Marks. Definitely not going to draft Watson and Matthew Golden back to back. Although if I knew Golden was available in round 11, maybe I would have done something different in round 10. Oh yeah, there's a guy I want. Oh yeah. Yeah, if any team needs to add a running back, the Cardinals, that's a fair point, Scribbles. That's a fair point. If any team needs to add a running back, they've got to be one. The 204 comes off the board. That's fine. I'll take Blake Corum here. Not obsessed with all the options on the board, I will admit, but he was incredibly impressive this year. 5.1 yards per carry. Looked great in that offense. I think he's going to get a bigger role in the next couple of years. I could really see 2026 being a big breakout for him. Justin Eagles fan says, thank you for your help this year. Traded Worthy for Wandale and 2/4. I love it. I'm glad we were able to help there. Speaking of trades, I know you guys have some trades you're submitting here on the site, so let me get to them. Here for the snack says, love the capital, but I don't know who to target. Is this class that weak? Should I flip the picks? So this is a 1 quarterback start 9. In a 1 quarterback league, the class is even weaker, obviously, because you don't have Mendoza propping up the top 5. So it's really a top 4. And essentially, Would you rather have Brian Thomas or 3 late firsts in a terrible class? I mean, you get 3 shots at it in the late first, but you're losing what would easily be the best player available at any of those picks. I'm on the clock here. Last pick. Let's grab Kittle with our last pick. What do we think? I want to ask the chat about this. Would you take the package or would you take Brian? The package could be worth nothing, or you could have 3 really fun, Russian roulette scenarios where you just hit. I doubt that in this class. And I will say, if you're expecting to go and flip those picks, I'm going to suggest that you're going to have a very hard time flipping them. From all of my experience in all of my leagues, there is not really any interest. There is really not any interest at all whatsoever from everything that I've seen. So you guys let me know. Like, do you have a different opinion in your leagues? Like, in your leagues, are you able to sell these late first? I'm finding it impossible. Nobody cares. Nobody wants them. They're treating them, and it's probably, I'm partly at fault here, but they're treating them like they're late seconds, is what it feels like. So it's so close in the poll right now. It's a 50-50 thing. 50% of people are saying Brian Thomas. 50% of people are saying the picks package. All right, now it's going slightly more towards Brian. Look, I will say this. I think you're going to find it easier to sell Brian Thomas for a value like this than selling those picks for something valuable. If your league is unaware and they're very, I mean, it's a good take there from Herbie. If your league is casual, then maybe you can consider the picks. If your league is aware of what's happening and they're aware of this class, I think you keep Brian Thomas. Steads with the trade question here. By the way, if you guys want to get your team review tonight, it is a great time to get that in. I've got 1 team review currently in rotation for M20 Seward, which we'll get to. But if you want to get a team playbook tonight, want to have me look at your fantasy team and get a playbook for yourself, your dynasty team, it's a great time to jump into the queue. You can check out the pinned comment there. Steads, in a 1 quarterback 12 team start 10, they would be sending away the 107, 2/3 in Nico Collins for a CD in the 111. I can't for the life. Look, I'm funnily enough, I brought both of these receivers in today's video, in our sell high video. I'm saying it's funny enough because I suggested to trade both of them, but this seems like the cheapest CeeDee Lamb I've seen in a long time. And I don't see much of a difference between the 107 and the 111 in this year's class. So the way I'm looking at this trade, transparently, is number 1, the 3rd round picks mean nothing to me. And I don't see a difference between the 107 and the 111 this year. So I basically see this as you trading CeeDee Lamb for Nico Collins straight up. This is a huge win for me if you take the CeeDee Lamb side. Again, I can't make a case against the CeeDee Lamb side there. I really don't know what the case would be. Food Baby, what's up? This is a 1 quarterback 16 team league, start 9. Looks like they would send away a 1st and 27, Brock Purdy, Colson Loveland, and they would be getting back Drake May and Zay Flowers. So it's a 1 quarterback league. Keep that in mind. I don't know about y'all, but in a 1 quarterback league, I don't think I'm doing this. I don't even know if I would do this in Superflex. This feels like too much. I feel like you're giving up too much here. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing this, man. Again, 1 quarterback league. If I'm going to break this trade down, I prefer Loveland over Zay Flowers because of positional scarcity. So I think you're losing there. And then there's no way I'm paying an early to mid 1st and 27 and Purdy to upgrade at quarterback in a 1 quarterback league. So I'm a hard pass on this. I would definitely suggest to keep the Purdy side. If you're going to come up with a counter, I mean, first off, honestly, I think you remove the 1st entirely. that's when I think it becomes fair. Like if you have some excess at tight end, you got Kraft already. Purdy and Loveland for May and Flowers feels far more fair in a one quarterback league. And even then, I'm not 100% sold on it because of the scarcity of a Colson Loveland, like a player like that. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I'd personally prefer to trade. When I say trade, I mean keep instead of trade. All right, Mike. Mike is in the building, also in the chat. Let's refresh here. Mike looks like in a one quarterback 12 team start 7. Mike is sending away Mahomes and Woody. He's getting back a second, Stroud and Walker. That's interesting. You're sure that's going to be an early second in 27? I'm not as sold on this one. Okay, so he says yes, it's going to be top 5. This is a tougher one for me. Oh, geez. This is truly difficult. Would I rather have Patrick Mahomes and Woody Marks, which Woody Marks is almost impossible to sell right now? Well, the thing is, like, understand that the difference between RB23 and RB21 is vast this year. Like, when you look at my rankings, and this is, let me pull my rankings up. When you look at my running back rankings this year, there's a huge drop off after RB21. Like this tier of 18 to 21, I love. And from 22 onwards, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. In fact, I don't care if you have RB22 or RB32 ahead of the other. There's a massive drop off. Massive drop off. I almost feel like CJ Stroud is giving you nothing in this counter. I feel like, could you remove Stroud in the second to get a first? If you can't do that, can you remove Stroud for something more valuable? Maybe that's a counter there, but I'm not obsessed with that idea, to be honest with you, man. I don't think that is the best trade possible for yourself. Again, guys, I appreciate you so much for being here with us. Earlier in the stream, we talked about our 40 in Feb initiative, where if we get 40 annual Mother Flocker memberships in a single week, I'm going to do a hair reveal for the first time in 2 years. But more importantly, all throughout the month of February, any annual Mother Flocker membership, 10% of it is going to be donated to A21, an organization that fights human trafficking. If you want to learn more about that, you go to a21.org. But all you have to do to be a part of it is simply become an annual Mother Flocker member with the code LAND. You're going to get all the perks of the membership, obviously, that we've always discussed. But currently, the tracker is at 5. We need to hit 40 in a week to hit it, which we can do that collectively. All right, last chance to enter today's giveaway before I get into this team playbook. If you want to win a live team playbook, which I'm about to actually jump into one, so you can watch it. If you want to win a live team playbook, all you have to do is simply like the stream and type 40Feb. That's as simple as it gets. 40Feb is the code word. And we currently have 41 entries. Wow, 41 entries. That's kind of surprising for today's stream. 41 entries. This is your last shot. Mike says, that's what I'm getting a consensus. That's why he's getting a consensus. Okay, great. Evie says, I could trade a third for Stroud, and I still think I'm losing the deal, even though I know I'm not. Yeah. Nathan says, I made 2 pretty bad trades and declined an amazing request this year in terms of value. But if I had acted differently on any of them, I wouldn't have won the championship. Okay, yeah. That's fair. All right, let's go ahead and do this giveaway, y'all. Let's do this giveaway. All right, 42 entries. And best of luck to all the people in the chat here. May the odds ever be in your favor. We are giving away a live team playbook here, and the winner is, and officially goes to, oh wow, it looks like it is Jonah. Jonah, congratulations, my friend. All you have to do to claim your playbook is DM me on Discord, as you've done many times before. I'll make sure and hook you up and get you all set up there. Thanks for being a part of the community and showing some love. That's awesome, dude. Glad we got to get it to an OG. All right. I'm going to jump into a team playbook here today. Appreciate y'all being here with us. Let's see. You are under no obligation to get a playbook today, but I just want to let y'all know that the queue is obviously open. You want a customized review of your Dynasty football team, get the playbook later on, customized trade targets made from myself. All you have to do is become a promo code LAND annual Mother Flocker member. That will give you a voucher that you can use through the Flock store. And then, of course, you will also be a part of the 40 in Feb initiative. We've got M20 Seward here. And by the way, M20 Seward did go out and get the Pro Pass. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a free team review voucher to come back, because with the Pro Pass, obviously, as we've talked about in the past, you are doubling your playbook. All right. So getting double the playbooks. Instead of one, you get two when you upgrade to the Pro Pass. But with that voucher I've just sent you, Seward, you can't upgrade that voucher to a Pro Pass, just so we're on the same page. We've got a 1 quarterback, 10 team start 8. 1 quarterback, 10 team start 8. Okay. 1 quarterback, 10 team start 8. He says, just kind of want some ideas of what I should do with this team. And let's have a geese. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can say this name. I don't think I can say your team name. Oh my gosh. This league is insane. Okay. You have a team name. Just gonna leave it at that. And you know what? You do you. All right. But you are team number 5 here. What did we say? It was a start 8. All right. So you got a meat and potato starting lineup. Some of these team names are wild. Okay. All right. Come on, Zach. Lock in. All right. 1 quarterback, start 8. So you got Mahomes, Dart. You got a great quarterback room there. You've got Genty, Etienne as your RB1 and RB2. Neighbors, Adunze, Warren. And then you're flexing Pittman. I guess Woody. And Woody would make 8. So it's not the best starting lineup. However, if you look at that draft capital, you're going to have a really good shot here to make a difference with your starting lineup there. Obviously, like Jeremiah Love could enter your lineup. That could make Etienne a flex. It could make Woody less, usable at the 103. To be honest, like the two areas that I think you have a big need are at running back and at wide receiver. And you've got 2 picks that kind of address that automatically. For me, the untouchables on this team would be your Genty, your Neighbors. I would definitely hold names like Tank Bigsby. Rome Odunze, I believe, is a strong hold right now based off the community's opinion on him. Jaden Higgins, Terrence Ferguson, I could see being a long-term guy in Los Angeles. If you need to drop some names, I mean, how much time do you got? You can drop the Bub Memes, the Brooks. You can drop the Jalen Hyatts of the world. These guys don't need to be rostered. In a 1 quarterback league, Jalen Milroe doesn't even really need to be rostered. On your waiver wire, there's really not that much interesting, though. Like, I like Jordan James. I like Jarquez Hunter, Treylon Burks. It's not like there's any, foundational guys out there on the waiver wire at this point anyway. But draft capital grade, it's interesting because you have no first in 27, which means we're probably going to need to compete this year. I'm going to give you an A- on your draft capital grade just simply because you've got the 101. That's the most impactful pick in Dynasty right now. Your overall team grade moving forward, once you add those 2 names, it's a solid team, man. I'd probably put you on that B plus, maybe A minus territory. I think you're right there. Like I said, B plus, A minus, that kind of feels where this team would land once you've kind of used all those draft picks. However, you are a Windows open pathway, okay? Your window's open. There's no doubt about it. You need to compete this year. Why? Because you don't have your 27 first. So there's absolutely no reason for you to be mediocre, or to miss the playoffs would not be great. So, Rowan, some all-time team names here. Yeah, no comment. I can't legally comment on the team name. I'm honestly shocked that it's even on the screen right now. Anyway. Focus. All right. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and jump into the war room, and let's come up with some ideas for your rookie draft. Obviously, if you stick at the 101, you're going to add Jeremiah Love. I would argue that he's what you need. And then one of the big three wide receivers. So again, Mekhi Lemon, Tate, Tyson, those are the names. And then beyond that, I don't know, from the 303 to the 410, who's really going to be available. If you're going to trade the 101, you know, you would only do it if you're going to land a Jahmyr Gibbs, you know, a Bijan. Outside of that, you need a Jeremiah Love. You need that next running back. And in such a small league, you really want those hammers. I'm not suggesting that someone's going to give you Gibbs or Bijan for the 101, but that's the only way I'm trading it. You already have Ashton Jeanty, so it's not like I can tell you to go trade for Ashton Jeanty. And if you're going to trade that 103, then I really would prefer you to look at a range of receivers at the 103. So, you know, if you're going to move that 103, then you're thinking, what, like Garrett Wilson? If not Garrett Wilson, you know, your Olaves, who have kind of already proven themselves, your McMillans. That's kind of that range. You know, George Pickens, Rashee Rice. And then with these late thirds, you can use in packages. So if you've got some deal that you're trying to get across the line and you really want to grab a player, if those picks can, you know, kind of get the job done, if you will, then I'd be more than happy to move on from them. Ultimately, there will be players late in the 26 class that are valuable, but I just think you're not going to miss those picks too much if you move on from them in any sort of trade. But again, looking back at your team here, let's imagine a world where, again, you add Jeremiah Love, and then let's say you add Mekhi Lemon. Your lineup just drastically improves from day one. You're starting Darter Mahomes, then Jeanty, Love, Neighbors, Adunze, Warren, and now you're flexing Mekhi Lemon and Travis Etienne. That's ridiculous. On your bench, you'd have Woody Marks, Michael Pittman, Jaden Higgins, Reed. All these names will be completely available on your bench, which would be absolutely incredible. Without your first and 27, I'm going to find it really hard to be aggressively selling many of these names. But I think there's plenty of ideas that we can come up with. I've got a couple ideas up my sleeve here. Yeah, you really don't have a position of need that you need to address at this point. Team is really solid. Woody Marks is someone that I'm willing to sell. Ideally, get an early to mid 27 second. I don't think you're going to get a first for Woody Marks. Of course, if you can get a late 26 first, I would do it. But I don't see that happening in the market right now today, unfortunately. I don't even mind the idea of like adding a 27 second onto Woody Marks and getting back like a veteran receiver, you know, like a running back, excuse me, like a Ken Walker, a Breece Hall, I would even do like a Derrick Henry plus 27 third, like a pick swap there. Again, trying to think of like equivalent running backs in value right now. Etienne, Javonte. I would do that same exact deal with Henry for Travis Etienne or Javonte Williams as well. I'd be willing to take on that risk. Ultimately, I just think you're getting an asset that you can really, win with in 2026. That's our goal here, is to win the league with our Windows Open pathway. But any of Javonte, Etienne, Henry, Brees, Ken Walker, they give you a much better chance of winning in 2026, which is ultimately our goal. Mahomes, I'm not opposed to selling. I think the problem is I don't know that there's really going to be a market in your league. In a one-quarterback league, especially a small 10-team one-quarterback league, I struggle to imagine a scenario in which someone is desperately needing a quarterback. I mean, this guy's ranked 10th at quarterback. He has Jordan Love. So maybe he's an option. Could you find a way to get to James Cook? Who do you have on your roster again? Could you send Woody Marks and Patrick Mahomes for James Cook, for example? Can you do something like that? I would be completely open to that. I'm not so sure the other guy would be. Could you do Mahomes for Saquon kind of straight up? You've got enough depth there at quarterback to make the move. And then can we tier up from Michael Pittman? We can only add a second on top. But, if you were to tier up from Michael Pittman, to me, the names that you'd be looking at there would be, you've already got a Dunze. Let's say like a Higgins, McConkey, Jameson, Zay. That kind of range there. These guys, Luther Burden for sure I would do. But wait a second, you've already got a Dunze, so maybe let's not make that complicated. But you can just afford, you've got enough depth, you can afford to make an upgrade there. I don't even mind like a Devonta Smith plus a third or something like that. But that's the game plan I would have for you, my friend. And I hope that's helpful. I appreciate you so much for letting me look at the squad and getting that team playbook, the Pro Pass. Obviously, you're going to be, you've already got that secondary voucher, which you can submit another team whenever you'd like, my friend. I'd be more than happy to have a look at it. You got the voucher now. You can submit it today. Look at it on our next stream. Completely up to you. But again, guys, I appreciate y'all so much for being here with me. Thanks for showing some love to the stream. Let me answer a couple questions before I log off here. If you want a team review, it's a great time to get in. The queue is very open. James says, would you rather have CD or Amon-Ra? I personally think they're in the same tier. I don't really have a strong opinion. If you were going to say, hey, I'll give you CD Lamb for Amon-Ra in a second, I'll take Amon-Ra. If you do the opposite, I'll take CD, right? I don't think there's a big difference between those two right now. Paul says, where do you think is the best spot to pick in Dynasty startups? I think right now, with the way people are drafting, not going hard after quarterbacks in Superflex leagues, I don't think there is a bad spot. I think you can draft from anywhere. There really isn't like a drop off per se that like there used to be. So yeah. Anyway, guys, appreciate you joining the stream. We'll see you guys in not tomorrow, but the day after. And I appreciate y'all being here, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Love.